Well, hey, it's Rob, and I'm going to tell one of my most famous stories today. Maybe my most famous story of all time. And it's about the time when I had to buy underwear for Michael Jackson. Now, I worked at a recording studio in Los Angeles in the early 90s, and as it happened, Michael Jackson booked our studio to record the album Dangerous. So this would have been right around 1990 up until 1992 or so when the record finally came out. And my job at the studio, I was called a runner. Basically, it meant I was a gopher. I would go for different things during the day that were needed, usually lunch, dinner, that kind of thing. I would also pick up equipment and deliver the master audio tapes to different studios around town, anything that was needed basically at the studio. I would just sit around and wait for somebody to need something, and it usually meant I'd have to get in my car and go pick it up. Well, towards the beginning of the Dangerous project, Michael came up to me and he was pretty shy. He had a pretty quiet voice that I like to try to imitate. I don't know if I'm doing it that well, but he called me Robbie at the time, and he said, "Robbie?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I need drawers." Now, I know drawers are slang for underwear, so I knew what he meant. And back then, Michael Jackson would just hand me his credit card, and I would go to the store. These were different times when you could just literally tell someone a story like, "I work for Michael Jackson, here's his credit card, I'm buying something," and nobody questioned it. I didn't need any kind of ID or anything that proved that I, was working for Michael Jackson or the studio where he was recording. And so he wanted to send me out and get drawers on that day. So I said, "Okay, Michael, tell me, exactly what you need." And he stopped for a second and he said, "Drawers!" It made me laugh the way he said it. And, I responded like off the top of my head. I said, "Michael, I'm not your mom. Like, you have to tell me exactly what you want so I can go to the store and get what you're looking for." So he said, "Oh, okay." He said, "Hanes, 30. I said, "Okay, well, now I know the brand and the size." And again, he handed me his credit card, and I started walking out the door. And then as I was leaving, he called out and he said, "Robbie," he said, "Hanes 32. I don't want them to be too tight."